Welcome back to Align Her Coaching Podcast. We are so happy that you were able to come and listen or watch if you're on YouTube right now. We are so excited about this subject today. It's me, Christine Barr. I am going to be leading us on this episode 5. What? And as always, my co-owner, co-host, we have Miss Darcey Elizabeth, and she's going to be helping us with energy and the woo-woo. And today we are going to be talking about one of the questions that we're getting sent in. And we want to say thank you so much, first of all, for sending those in, because that's not necessarily helping us. We love it, but it's also giving us great content because y'all have great questions. And so we invite y'all to keep on going with that. And thank you. You've already given us 4 episodes to talk about. And today's question is from Krista J. from Arizona. Hey girl, how you doing? And today she wants to know how to have better communication and energy with relationships with your friends. Girl, we have seen so many things change over the last 2 years.
Things have definitely shifted.
Yes, we are definitely in a different season of friendship, relationships, energy. And we want to kind of help Krista out today. And we're going to kind of talk about what we do and some advice and some coaching that we can, put around that question of how do you have better energy? How do you have better communication with your friends? And I'm going to let Darcey start us off. How you doing, girl? How's it going?
Hey, y'all. I'm excited to be here, and I'm super excited about this topic. And I'm really excited to also get the relationship coach expertise as well, because one thing that I have experienced in the last 2 years, to be vulnerable with you guys, is I've had a lot of change, right? I have became a single mom, which, not everybody, when you leave any type of relationship, not everybody understands or supportive or gets it, right? And with that, you get what I like to call friendship growing pains, right? You kind of figure out who's there, who's not. And also, as you're shifting your gear, things change to how you're going to show up, right? So you might not be their cup of tea just as much as they are anymore, right?
Or why were they your friend in the first place?
Yeah, we always get that where it's like, wait, why are we friends? So yeah, I'm super excited about this topic because I have learned a lot how the only thing I can control is my own energy in a friendship, and really determining okay, what could I do to make sure that I'm keeping my energy, and when is the boundary to no longer let whatever kind of energy they're bringing in, no longer let that in if it's not suiting you.
Correct. First of all, before I go, I love this lip color on you. It looks so good.
Y'all gotta get on YouTube. Check it out. Come check us out on YouTube.
Right? I am giving me all the life with this lip color.
I think it's actually one similar to the color you picked out.
Yeah, I really like it.
Yeah, if y'all didn't know, Christine's really good at makeup. She's really good at makeup, especially helping me put my eyelashes on.
It's kind of it's like that hidden secret power that I don't tell anybody about. And they're like, oh, your makeup looks nice. And it's like, yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually excellent at it. Thanks.
Right. And in my head, I'm like, yeah, I just got paid for it for a couple of years. But anyways, friendships. So
where to begin?
Okay. I know. So I will give you this, Miss Krista.
Krista, our girl.
Not everybody's your fucking friend.
Yes.
So stop giving them stop giving them that title. It is the most okay, Jesus, just heard you. Okay. So is the biggest form of gaslighting to call someone your friend, knowing god dang well that they're not living up to that expectation, and you're not doing the same for them. So stop
Yeah.
calling people your effing friend when they're not. And you know what? Friends mean different things for other people. Like I am a long distance friend. Like I am that girl. I ain't calling you every day. I ain't texting you every day. If you need something, let me know. I'll watch your kids if they're over the age of 12 because, I don't do nothing like they need to be able to handle themselves. Can they feed themselves? Can they go to the bathroom for themselves? Can they put themselves to bed? All right, cool. I'll watch them. Right. Like you just need someone over the age of 18 with them. Okay, I got it. Right. But I mean, I'm that friend, but I also know how I show up in relationships.
Mm,
Right. I
yeah.
know that if I have someone that's like, well, you don't call me every day, or like we haven't
Mm.
gotten together in forever, I just feel like you're not my friend anymore, then I realize that I'm not doing my friend duty by giving them the honest truth of what kind of friend I am.
Yes.
Right.
Oh, yeah. I love that.
I think we kind of have to get to the point where we start putting this on ourselves and not necessarily, well, they treated me wrong or they did this to me. Okay, first of all, why did they think they could treat you that way?
Mm.
Why did they
Yeah.
think that they could talk shit about whatever they wanted to and thought it was okay? Oh, it's probably because you allowed and held space for that type of energy in your relationship and you did not communicate that you were uncomfortable with that.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I love that so much. And I actually think we have had this, right? Like you coaching me. So one thing we are always doing is we're like putting the blame on them, right?
Mhm.
Which it might be a situation where the blame could be put on them. But as I said, the only thing you can control is you. And that's also the boundaries you are creating for yourself, right? And especially if you have a friendship where you have told how it has made you feel and they're not taking it into consideration, that is when you now have to be the one to create the boundaries, right? Like you now are responsible of the energy you bring. So a lot of times we keep pouring in energy to friendships that aren't truly friendships.
Mm.
Yeah. And one thing, talking with a whole bunch of women is a lot of times when we're talking about, bad relationships, people instantly associate it with significant others, right? They're like, the man, whoever you're in a relationship, that's where the bad relationship is. Friends, in some situations, they might be toxic in your life,
Oh, girl.
right?
Yes.
They might
Yes.
be the one that is dimming your shine. And I know I have done a lot of work to get to the point where I had to create boundaries. And it's not necessarily against them, but it's more like they don't suit this journey I'm on right now. You
Mm-hmm.
don't have to, one thing I always say, you don't have to like cut them out. Like, um, you don't have to like badmouth them and be like, we're not friends. But one thing I've learned, don't make the time for them, because if you're leaving there and you are not feeling good about it, that's a red flag.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So,
Whew, my face hurts.
Christine, what is your tip? What is your tip for somebody who is struggling with a friendship? You go first and then I'll go.
Okay. Okay. Well, define struggling. What does that look like?
Okay. So let's use, say you have somebody who is always negative. Okay. Always negative, and every time you talk to them, they're like literally shooting you down, or they're just like, must be nice, right? Must
Oh.
be nice to have that. Must be nice to,
Oh.
be able to move, whatever it may be. What
Mm,
would your tip be? I love this. I love when Christine gets in this energy right now.
I
What would your
see ya.
tip be for the listener that's like, I got this friend, I'm struggling, and like every time I'm with her, she's making me feel like shit. What do I do?
Okay. Well, okay. Let me. Okay. First, first, normally when I see this in relationships, it's because they have been together for a really long time. Normally when I see or hear people that have that type of relationship, they're like, but I've known her for forever and she helped me with this and she planned my baby shower. And they go into all of these reasons on why this person is such a good person off of acts that they did but still didn't make you feel good. And I
Ooh.
always like think like sometimes I would rather not. I would rather not have a baby shower than give that person my time or day. I would rather have dinner with my husband for my birthday than having a room full of girls that are women, should I say, that I just, and then you go on to the other side in this, if you want to get out of my friend circle so fast, the comment of, well, women are catty or they're bitches. Whew, I ain't no bitch. I ain't catty. I'm a woman. Maybe you were just absorbing and allowing catty bitchy women in your life. Why is that? I just feel like we keep putting it on other people, on other women to show up in relationships, but yet we're allowing them to be just as abusive as we would for a man to do that to us if we were in a romantic, monogamous relationship. And yes, it's different, but I also think it's deeper. Your girlfriends can never, ever, ever supplement what a man can do for you in a relationship, a romantic relationship. But let me tell you, no man in your romantic relationship can ever take the place of your girlfriends.
Yeah.
So it's not interchangeable. And I hear a lot of times, oh, I got my girlfriends. I don't need no man. And it's like, okay, but you say that, but yet you've already been in a romantic relationship. You know what that feels. And now there's a void. And
Yeah.
so, and I'm not saying, oh, I don't need a man to pay my bills. Okay, get over yourself. And no one needs nobody to pay their bills. We can all do it. Let's get over that little, I don't know what that is right now. I don't know if that's the millennial in me coming out where I'm like, ugh, it makes me gag every time I hear a girl say that. But I will say that you've been in a relationship with a man and you're just like, I want friends, right? I just want someone I can go and talk to. And we can get our nails done and get massages. And I want to go on girl trips, which is great and it's fun. But who are you? Are you willing to put yourself so far down? Are you that desperate? Like you always say that about a man, right? Is she that desperate that she will put up with that? And then she says, well, at least I'm not alone. So are you that desperate to have a room full of girls that will not treat you right? They tear you down. They tear other people down. And I always love that comment. If they're comfortable enough to talk about me behind your back, then why are they so comfortable to say that to you? They must obviously feel like you're closer to them or that you're not going to defend me or whatever. And I say that is good because you know me, Darcey. I'm like, she ain't here to defend herself. I don't care if my friend is a hoe. She ain't here to defend herself. So we ain't talking about it. And I could know all of her hoe ways. But I am not going to sit here and allow you to bash. But at the same time, I don't want you to ever feel comfortable enough to be able to come to me to badmouth someone else. And so
Yeah.
when you start finding people that have those same values, if you want a gossiping friend, go get you a gossiping friend. If you want a nail buddy, go get a nail buddy. I just think it's getting to the point where everybody's getting so desperate that they're lowering their standards, not necessarily romantically, but in a friendship relationship. I know
Yeah.
I just ranted,
Oh,
but
no.
it's a
That was
subject.
that needed to be said because, as you said, if people were looking in and they saw that you had a negative relationship with your significant other, they'd be like, "Why is she dealing with that?" Right?
Right.
But there's so many friendships where it does not serve you or it doesn't align with your values, right? Like as you said, if you want someone to talk shit with, go get yourself one, girl. Right? I got
We
all
got
different
those
friend
people.
groups. Yeah, exactly. There's no shame. Like you find what suits
Yeah.
you, but also if you are trying to create a life with these certain values and what you want to bring, and they are an energy that is not only not suiting you, but hurting you, right? Because not everybody's going to be your same vibe, but if they are literally hurting you, why are we dealing with that?
Mm-hmm.
Why are we dealing with that? And that also comes back to you are going to feed off their energy. If somebody's in a bad mood, say somebody in your house is in a bad mood, we all feel it, right? That's the same thing with friendships. If they are bringing a negative energy, then that is what you're going to pick up.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I will say how I started dealing with it is calling it out right then and right there. That's how I've been. That's like my new thing is like, I want people to walk away knowing where they stand with me. So if someone comes in and they're like, hey, like oh, and then my husband did this and you know what? I can't hang out with you anymore if this is all you're going to be talking about. And then they're like, oh shit. Like maybe they don't even realize that they're venting. And then I have had some comeback where someone has said, what did she say? Well, that's what friends do. We get together and we bash our husbands. No, girl, I know that now I know, because if I would have said, hey, tell me everything that's wrong with him and all this other stuff. Oh, girl, I can't believe he did that, blah, blah, blah. And I kept on going down that road. That's all I would have been for her. And she would have thought that I was okay with it. So when I just came up and was like, sorry, I'm not here for bashing your husband. How are you doing? What's going on in your life? Because I like her as a person. I really do. But I'm sorry. I can't sit here while you bash on your kids. You bash on your husband. Nothing good is happening at work. When I said, hey, what did you have for Saturday? Saturday meal, and they're like, it was nasty. I didn't even like it. And we're sitting over coffee and I'm like, oh, you got a special kind of coffee. How does it taste? It's too hot. Bitch, get out of here. Like, I ain't got time for that. Let's talk. Like, it doesn't have to necessarily always be deep. It doesn't necessarily always have to be super, super like, tell me about your darkest secrets. And I think what you were saying is that interchange of energy. And is it matching or pulling you up? If you're getting pulled up, you're probably needing to pull yourself up after you walk away. And we all have those friends that we say, hey, I walked away from this and I felt so good. Every time I talk to her, I feel so good, right? And you want those people. Now, will I say I have had people that I'm like, I feel good every time I leave, but I don't like who I have to become in order to be that person's friend. Now, that's a whole nother subject, right? Now, if you're like, oh, I just want to be included, I just want to have fun, I just want to do girls' things. And then you got to be that girl that's looking at other men. You have to be that girl that is buying bottle service. Okay, y'all, I live in Dallas, Texas. There's money, right? And people like to flaunt it. If you can't have a car that's not a lease or 2 years old, it can't be anything than 2 years old. What was another one? Oh, your husband has to make six figures or more, or you're not wearing designer, you don't get your lashes done. I'm coming from, especially now where I live, it's bougie. But if I have to become that person in order for you to even think of me as a friend or accept me, I don't necessarily know if that's a friend that I would want to be in a relationship with. Some people do. They're like, oh, she has this, she has that, she has that. I want to be your friend because she's got all these things and we lead the same lifestyle. Great. Good for you, girl. Go do it. But I just don't think that if you have to change everything you are to become good enough for that person to accept you, that is a line and a boundary that I don't know if you should. You know what? I should say this. I invite you to reevaluate. I invite you to reflect, because I've had some of my best times with, cornbread and cornbread, some chili on the patio, drinking margaritas with no bra and no makeup, and we had a good time, girl, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it really goes back to who are you, right? Who are you? And make sure, you are not changing to just fit in, because that is not going to make you feel good, right? You're going to start to second guess who you are. And when you really can start getting clear on, hey, this is who I am, this is who I want to be, and I want to show up as her, you're going to feel way better. I will share something that I realized
Yeah,
that
I was gonna ask you. Go ahead.
yeah. So if you guys see the lawnmower in the back, I'm so sorry, but that's actually really exciting news, because I mean it's warm enough outside for the
Yeah.
lawn to get mowed. Okay, this is like a huge thing. Okay. Anyway, one thing I
Love it.
noticed as I'm having all these transitions, right? Like I moved, I am in a new area. I ended up getting with a group of ladies, and one thing I noticed is I didn't have anything to say. right? And I have anything to say. And I really sat back and realized that, oh my gosh, we are just sitting here talking smack. And at one point in my life, that was filling my cup. Weirdly, that was filling my cup. But now where I'm at, I got so many other things I'm working towards and who I am, and really able to step into the energy that I want to bring in this world, that no longer aligns. So that doesn't mean like, peace out. You know what I mean? That doesn't mean like, hey, I'm never going to talk to you, but really being true to who am I, staying true to her, and asking when you're trying to figure out, hey, should I hang out with them or not? I don't really feel good when I do afterwards, like really deep diving in that. Really look at, is it going to serve me? And is it serving them?
Right.
Flipping the script where, yes, it might not always be serving you, but maybe because you love them, right? They are your friends, you love them. Maybe if you bring awareness to them, like they're like, hey, you're quiet, straight up, as you said, call it out. And I was like, yeah, I have no shit to talk and I don't feel like talking shit. And they all looked at me like I had 5 heads, but I was like, what? And I'm sure they probably talking shit after I left, but I stayed true to me. And also I established that boundary with them. Like, hey, that's not what I'm here for. As you said, how are you? And really, for our energy moment for this, I really want you to think, if you are questioning any relationship, ask yourself, how is your energy when you leave them? So how are you feeling after you hung out with them? Are you feeling on a high? So for instance, every time I get off the phone with Christine, every time we do a podcast recording, and especially when we're in person, I'm like, woo, mama's feeling good, right? Or even like, when it comes to other relationships, like, yeah, that really picked me up. And then there's other friends who I love dearly, and I still make space for them, but I'm very careful, because if I get too much energy into them, I end up not only getting hurt, having messy tears, right? But also I kind of resort back to who I used to be, and I'm not there no more. And that's okay. Everybody's involved. And I think that's something we should all remember, is that friendships evolve too. You don't have to, if you've been friends with someone since they're 4 years old, doesn't mean you have to always be friends with them. Right? Me and Christine are not saying like cut them out, but definitely be more aware of how do they make you feel? What energy are you bringing? And if you're able to maybe shine some of the light that you want to bring, put that in the room. See what happens. That's going to give you a clear indication if they are still your friend type or not. If they can't pick up on your energy that you're trying to bring, and they're sitting there being very resistant, maybe they're not in line with you right now.
Yeah. Okay. So no, we are not saying to cut them out. First of all, everything you said was amazing. I love it. But
cut them out. Get it?
But let me tell you something. The greatest part about like being your true self and telling them what you don't like and setting boundaries in this relationship, bitch, guess what? They're gonna cut you out. It's so great when someone is throwing a party and I'm like, please don't invite me. Please don't invite me. And they were like, oh, sorry, I was gonna invite you, but you've been really busy. And I'm like, yeah, okay, thanks. Or, like we just been distant. Okay, cool. But I don't want to have to say no, because that I'm not going because I don't want that energy. But then they start like realizing like, hey, we are distant. And if it's a relationship worth coming back to, then and only then do you start talking about boundaries, what needs to happen, your communication, you bring things in. Because I think there's that thing of like, we have to reconcile, right? Forgiveness is not reconcile. Like reconciliation, right? Like you don't have to reconcile and forgive somebody. You also don't have to reconcile and be their best friend. Right. You can be cordial. You can be, in the same room with someone and not be friends with them. But I will say, once you start leveling up and you start doing better, they will stop inviting you because they don't like how your good energy stomps on their bad energy
Mm-hmm.
because they like sitting in it. So I'm okay with that. Don't invite me. And and then people are like, well, if I don't get invited, then no one will invite me. Oh, but girl, guess what? You can invite people.
Yes.
Like, how awesome is that? Like, you can invite someone out. You can invite someone to do something and they will accept you for where you are right now.
Yeah, yeah. And you're right. Like as you go on the journey, and you start to level up and you start to really get in tune with yourself, you're going to lose people along the way. And universe works that way, right? Like as you said, they're gonna stop inviting you. The universe works that way because they're no longer aligned, right? It doesn't have to be down in a nasty fight. We've all been there.
Right.
I've had my fair share of nasty girl fights, but really, but really also you got to see the amount of energy you're putting into it. Is it worth it? If me and Christine have a fight, is it worth it to me to fix? 110%, right?
Yes.
We have a business together. We not only have a business together, but we feed off each other, right? She was the yin and the yang kind of thing. So that is something that, yes, we got to work towards. Just like a significant other, right? You got to really outbalance, like, what kind of work do we need to put in here?
Yes.
But if it's something where you almost don't want to put the work in, follow your gut. You're feeling that way for a reason. If you're feeling nauseous every time you hang out with them, I promise you, they're not supposed to be in your circle no more.
No more.
No more.
So can you while we're wrapping up, reiterate, I think that's the word I'm trying to use.
Yeah.
What is their energy moment and what they're going to be working on for the next week?
Yes. So if you are listening to this podcast or watching on YouTube and you're like, yeah, I have a friend in mind, right? If you're like literally thinking of that person in mind, I want you to think about your energy and how you feel when you leave them. That's simple. Just literally like ask yourself next time you hang out with them, how do I feel? Do you feel good? Do you feel bad? What is your gut telling you? Because you already know deep down if they're meant to be in your circle or not. And so do they. As Christine pointed out, so do they. So start trusting your gut and literally ask yourself, how did that feel?
Yes, I love that. And the homework actually pairs really well with that this week as well. So it's a 3-step. I want to make sure.
Yes.
I know you can do whatever level you're feeling like you need. If whenever you're listening to this is the time you're supposed to hear it, right? If this is someone that's like, I'm actually good with my friends, I don't need it. Okay, maybe this part isn't for you. The energy part might be a little bit more, but I have 3 parts for you. The first part is I want you to contact 3. Now this is, let's go back a little bit. I want you to make a list of 3 to 5 people that you would like to contact, either past friendships, current friendships, or someone that you would like to have a friendship with. You're like, you know what? I really like her. We went to a party and we see each other on Instagram or Facebook, or I mean, down here we have Botox parties like once a month. So it's like, oh, she got this and I know we're into that and we have fun. But I really don't know her. I would like to get to know her more. Or a past relationship of whatever happened to her,
Ooh, yeah. I like
right?
that.
Why did we fall off? And this could even, I mean, it doesn't even have to be an argument or anything like that. And then a current friend. So now you're going to have these 3 people on your list, or 5, however you want to go through it. And I want you to write what you need from that relationship in order for it to be a 10. We know they're not going to be a 10, but we're going to strive for a 10. If that past relationship was, hey, we kind of fell off because she moved away. Okay, what would have to make that relationship a 10? Oh, I think we should be able to get on Zoom calls and do wine dates. Or, maybe I could go visit her, or she could come visit me, or we can be a pen pal. I know that sounds really old, but people love getting letters, handwritten letters. That would make my relationship with that old friend a better one. Your current one, what can make this relationship better? Oh, well, we text a lot all day, every day, and I'm doing really bad at work. Okay, what would make this better? I need to set a boundary to let her know between 9 and 5. I mean, if you have an iPhone, you can hit do not disturb, and it can be like, this person is working right now. They may not respond. And put those boundaries so she knows, okay, after 5 o'clock, girl, we can kaka kiki all day. But until 5 o'clock, I can't give you that time. And that might help that relationship get to a 10 because now you're seeing where you're giving too much, where other parts of your life is suffering. And then that future friend, what are you going to need from her? That could be, oh, I would like if she would like to do once a month brunches. And it seems like she would be really into the movies. I wonder if she would like to do like a movie night, or in my case, y'all know I'm always down for a Botox party. Like, do you want to co-host one with me? Let's do something together. And let your intentions on your paper set the tone for that relationship. Now, if you want to take it another step, I want you to go and do it. The third step, if there is someone in your life that you are not about right now, I want you to take them away from your life for 2 weeks. Okay. And this is social media, right? Social media. This is part 3. This is like, what do they call it? The star level. Take them away from your life. And you don't need to tell them that you're doing this. Nope. This looks like unfollow them. You don't have to unfriend them, but just unfollow them where you're not seeing any of their life coming through on yours, and see if you miss it. If you did not pick up your phone or be like, oh, I wonder what this person is doing, then they ain't for you, girl. That's a time and true test. Time and true test. And then you can kind of see where that relationship can blossom. It might stop there, right? You might be like, hey, I just don't need to see what's going on in your life. We'll catch up every 6 months and we're good. Great friendship. But just see what it feels like if that person wasn't in your face, on your phone, in your text, at your house all the time, and see what your reaction is to that. And that would be the 3-part. You can do all 3. You can do just one, whatever touches you. But I'm a true believer in you will hear this when you need it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I love that. That is such a good homework for this week, guys. Really take advantage of that. And you will really see like what can grow, right? Putting out there and seeing like, hey, what would this look like if it was a 10? And then I love the last step of really asking yourself, like, if I take them out, how does my life look like? Mm-hmm. Right. And getting really into that energy of like what it would be like to not be their friend. Because before you make any moves, that's something you want to really get clear on. But with that, it comes to an end of our episode. But one thing I do want to say is that if you are listening to this and you're like, man, I need help with this, reach out to us. Reach out to myself at darceyelizabeth.co or Christine underscore bar. And we are here to help you. So reach out to us. We also do one-on-one alternative coaching. So you'll really be able to dive into the energy and relationships in your life and even creating that life you desire, right?
Yes. And just know that what we say here is for the masses. So it might not work for you. But guess what does work? When we can get to you. And how do we do that? You write us a question.
Yes, write us a question. We are here to serve you.
And we always love backstory. Sometimes we've just been getting questions, but like if you can give us a backstory and so that we can kind of really deep dive in it. Because, time again, if you're going through it, someone else is, and your bravery could probably set someone else free by you just writing that question. Yeah. So let's wrap it up here. Again, this is Align Her Coaching Podcast. I'm Christine Barr, and I'm with always Miss Darcey Elizabeth. We are the co-owners and co-hosts of this podcast, and we can't wait to see you next week right here on your listening platform, also on YouTube. So like and subscribe, and we can't wait to see you next week. All right? Talk to you later.
Bye.